Hello, hula. Hello, everybody, my dear people of Ambazonia, fellow brave warriors of our liberation movement. Accept liberation greetings from me, Comrade John Akuro, this day. Today is October 1, 2024. That great day is here. The World Ambazonia Day, the day where the entire world is being painted blue and white. I specifically want to congratulate all the people of Ambazonia, of the former UN Trust Territory of British Southern Cameroons, aka Ambazonia, wherever you are on the globe. I want to send special salutes to our people in the United Arab Emirates, to our people in Japan, to Southern Cameroonians in Western Europe. I say Western Europe, that's many countries put together, to our people, to Ambazonians in Australia, to Ambazonians in China, that's in Asia, to Ambazonians in all of the Middle East, to Ambazonians in West Africa, in East Africa, and wherever, and especially to our prisoners of war, both those who are in prison in the dungeons of La République du Cameroon all over the place, and those who are in prison establishments in the United States of America, and those who are in prison establishments elsewhere around the world. And of course, I'm extending special salutes to all of them, even the one who is in prison in Norway or who is in jail, not yet prison, in Norway, in detention in Norway. My people, today is the World Ambazonia Day. So I must extend special salutes to all our people wherever they are, to our refugee population, especially on ground one, that's Nigeria, those in Ghana, and across the world. Accept special salutations from me on this Independence Day. And of course, you see this cake behind me. This hall is specially set where there's going to be a massive fundraiser. You understand? Massive fundraiser. And I know there are going to be massive fundraisers around the world to put together resources to ensure that we continue to prosecute this liberation movement until we get to the logical end. And on this day, even as we're talking and celebrating, I know that on ground zero, our people are still facing vicissitudes. They're still facing serious attacks. They're facing looting from the docks of La République du Cameroon. One such places where I've just had confirmed reports where serious, plans are extorting and eventually looting from the people are ongoing, and that is in Meme County in Kumba, where Gerard Tundong, the colonial SDO in Kumba, picked October 1 to go around sealing people's shops that they did not open their shops and the shops were supposed to be open. He did not seal them on Monday. That's yesterday. That is ghost town that he knows. He decided to go out today on October 1. That's an affront. That's an insult. That's a crime against a people's right to peaceful protest. The people have chosen to stay in their houses, but you go after them. Normally, Gerard Tundong should be excited that the people chose to stay in their houses instead of being on the streets in running battles with the thugs from Yaoundé. Or perhaps he would have wanted them to be on the streets there in running battles so that they could feed from the blood that will be spilled. To the people of Kumba, I know that Mr. Gerard Tundong is building 3 houses at once. I mean 3-story buildings at the same time in La République du Cameroon. He's certainly short of material. That's why he's sealing these shops, because in exchange of removing the seals, Gerard Tundong will be asking for ransoms. I'm calling on the international bodies around the world to take note of this. This is exactly what we have been going through from La République du Cameroon for 60 years. Treating us constantly as a conquered people. Treating us constantly as a colonial administration that they are, but claiming that we are part of them. My people of Ambazonia, and especially those in Kumba, nobody should give 1 franc to Gerard Tundong. And I will call on the people of Meme that come Wednesday, October 2, when you get to your shops and they are still sealed, let everybody, I mean everybody, get into the streets of Kumba for a peaceful protest to ask that colonial administrator to undo that nonsense the fastest possible. And if he doesn't, the next day cut off everything and throw away. Let him fill all the jails with all of us. Crazy, isn't it? But that wouldn't disturb our celebration. Let me go back a little bit. You know, generally when we do this broadcast, we come back sometimes when there's feedback. It's interesting to share some of this feedback. But don't forget that this particular broadcast is actually in celebration of October 1, 2024, because we are marking the pain. We're also looking at the glamour involved in the way we are prosecuting this liberation movement. And most especially, we are looking at our determination and resilience to fight on, to fight all the way until we erase the last vestiges of La République du Cameroon's colonial presence on our territory. Yes, we can. And yes, we will do it. Because we will not sit back and do nothing. We will all get up and we will do the hard work. Whether La République du Cameroon and France like it or not, they will get out of our territory. So, my people, reacting to my last broadcast, a member of government in the government of La République du Cameroon, the government of a head boy or head charlatan, Dr. Joseph John Gute, or Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute, in a rare display of I don't know what, wrote back to me after watching my last broadcast. And he said, that video is so sweet. It was really so sweet. I enjoyed your talk, especially when you talked about our roads. And you said a kilometer of tar is what, 700 million, 1 billion. He said, no, 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 no. You are making a mistake. A kilometer of tar in La République now is 6 billion CFA, sir. He says Yaoundé in Simalen rural section road, 10 kilometers has now consumed a total of 78 billion. Did you hear that? 10 kilometers, 78 billion. Now, if you take 10 kilometers and 78 billion, that's actually 7.8 billion CFA for 1 kilometer of tarred road. That is La République du Cameroon. That is La République du Cameroon, actually. And that road will not last the Christmas festival. And it says the Yaoundé Douala Road, 70 kilometers done for more than 250 billion CFA francs this far. It says, and counting. And then it says the municipal lake in Yaoundé has been done with Indian bamboos and it has cost 72 billion CFA. He said, you want to call figures? If you want more figures, I will send you figures. And then he laughs. This is amazing. Very, very interesting. Like I said, let me adjust my muffler. I laugh. I said, this is amazing. That is exactly La République du Cameroon. This is why we don't want to have anything to do with these people. My people will keep having little jots of exactly where they are today as we progress in this particular broadcast. So drop me a message wherever you are celebrating today. Let me know what is going on where you are. While we continue this broadcast first, let us rush very quickly to Strasbourg, where we have Ambazonians already doing serious business out there. Unfortunately, I see whoever sent this did not send the sound, but he told me that they were still assembling, and you know, these are just the videos of the first arrivals out there in Strasbourg, where they are already marking the 2024 edition of Ambazonia's Independence Day. So congratulations out there to our people in Strasbourg. I mean, I guess as the day goes on, we'll be getting more images coming in from across the world on our people coming out there to paint the entire world blue and black. good tidings to you out there, folks. So, while we are celebrating, while we were all preparing to get up this morning and get into, the sound and the deserved celebration of our Independence Day, something was happening in the Bakassi Peninsula. Of course, the divisional officer, the colonial divisional officer, his presence is not warranted on that land. The colonial divisional officer for Idabato was abducted in the week of the celebrations to mark our Independence Day of the Southern Cameroons. He was abducted along with a worker of the local council there. Of course, the narration goes that he was abducted and thrown on board a speedboat, and La République du Cameroon's amphibious team from the B, they tried all they could, but they were unable to catch up with their abductors, and they took the divisional officer away on the high seas. And of course, you have heard La République du Cameroon totally confused and frustrated. They wouldn't tell you that it would appear this SGU is considered by the self-defense volunteers as contraband on our territory because he's a colonial administrator and his presence on our territory is definitely not justified. So La République du Cameroon is so confused to accept because they've constantly tried to fool the world that, peace has returned, normalcy has returned. There are even no more self-defense volunteers. The people have all surrendered. And the one big thing that was left to be done was to continue capturing the leadership of the liberation movement, and that they had captured one of them, Mr. Cho Ayaba Lucas, and so it means that everything was completely over. And so the embarrassment that they have this morning, that when they rose up and discovered that on October 1, the deal of Idabato was taken away to send a strong signal that the self-defense volunteers and all of those that they are collaborating with are still very determined to rid our territory of the colonial presence of La République du Cameroon. And so one of their parashiks, the Nkonda Titus, with his platform, My Country People Them, you see they quickly rushed out and said the divisional officer for Idabato Njan division was kidnapped this morning by yet to be identified armed men, possibly Biafra mercenaries who came in from Nigeria. He was taken across the waters into Nigeria on flying boats. When you look at it, you understand the pattern. In other circumstances, they will not say unidentified gunmen, they will say, by Ambazonian terrorists. But today, because they imagine the magnitude of the damage will be done on their image and on the fake stories that have been passing around, how they have completely quelled and reduced the Southern Cameroon's liberation struggle or the Ambazonia liberation struggle and reduce it to its barest expression. Imagining that the world will say, that these self-defense volunteers were capable enough to come in by speedboat, overpower the bee, protecting their almighty bee, protecting the deal, and carry him away beyond their reach to the point where they are now trying to beg Nigeria to help them. The humiliation and the embarrassment is too much. So they have to quickly run into a spin to say that no, this possibly is carried out by Biafran mercenaries and all of those things. Let's talk about it. Biafran mercenaries. In another section, they talk about pirates because that's what they say. They are saying on other platforms, they are saying it's pirates who have captured the Dio. And then on other platforms, they say Biafran mercenaries. They are confused. They don't know what to say because it hurts them. And that they are Biafran mercenaries, so they are pirates, and they choose October 1 to do it. Hey, La République du Cameroon, are you supposed to reasoning? Do you still all have your faculties in place? Okay, if they chose October 1 to do it, then that should tell you, therefore, that perhaps there are some alliances, right? Last I checked, it would appear the egg of C, with the armed wing, the ADF, had entered into an alliance with Biafra. Did that happen? I think I saw images somewhere of Comrade Joe Ayaba Lucas. I think at the time with Nandi Kanu, and at other times, other low-level officials with Biafrans talking about alliances. And then, after the recent arrest and detention of Comrade Ayabacho in Norway, I think I saw a statement from Biafra calling on Norway to uphold the rule of law and promising help if things went otherwise. I guess I saw a statement like that from Biafra. Is this connected? I don't know. I'm making an inference because I'm trying to look at it. La République du Cameroon is so confused. They don't know who has done it. So I'm trying to help them by sharing with them possible leads if they are confused. Because this is something they need to be really serious about, you know. Well, this is Independence Day and I'm going to be really merry. So don't be vexed if sometimes I say something, I'm talking about something really serious and you see a smile on my face or you realize that I let fly a chuckle. And then you see the Colonial Senior Divisional Officer for Ndian, who is in Ndian, quickly wrote to the Nigerian Consul General in Boya saying, very urgent, because he said, hand message number 098, SDO from Senior Divisional Officer for Ndian to Consul General of Nigeria, Boya. Very urgent. Honor inform you for your possible action within framework of cross-border cooperation that Mr. Ewane Roland, Divisional Officer of Idabato, and Mr. Etongo Ishmael, staff of Idabato Council, were kidnapped in the night of 1st of October 2024 about 2:15 a.m. by unidentified armed group who took direction to Nigeria on board flying boats. We will be most grateful if you could take some measures in communication with Nigerian authorities. Best regards and end. Seen, go to dispatch. Mundemba, the 1st of October 2024. You know, if you have an idea, if you have read consistent stories on how this kind of operations happen, it didn't just happen overnight. People definitely took time off, surveyed the area, looked at the security operatives around the deal, planned the operation, calculated the escape route once they're finished with the operation. They knew the number of B who could be present, and they had a clear idea how to overcome them. And they knew that once it is done, this is how they will move. And they picked a date. And that date was the 1st of October. And this is really an error. Because 2:15 a.m., they didn't strike on the 30th of September at 11 something p.m. No, 2:15 a.m., breaking the 1st of October. This looks very much like something carefully planned with the significance and everything taken into account. I think for the people of La République du Cameroon, or for the government of the diaper-wearing Paul Biya, just settle down and process it. I know it's very difficult to process this kind of happening, but just settle down. Because there'll be so much noise on the television channels, oh, platforms, oh, it's finished, oh no, c'est la fin, end of the show, it's gone up, it's come down. You even see, oh my goodness, I say it's gone up about to charlatans, some new charlatans jump in. Besides Salai saying that, no, now I'm even expanding to Northern Ireland, I'm expanding to wherever, I'll be going after people in every other country now that I've had cooperation with Norway, Oslo. Now you have some charlatans. Oh no, we are not yet there even. You have some charlatans coming up. Huh? You just see they say how Fonju Wilson rallied funds to curse Ayabacho for atrocities in Northwest and Southwest. And they are now saying it is because of the curses organized by this Fondu that Comrade Chuayaba was apprehended in Oslo. It is because of the curses. Oh, did the funds curse just Comrade Chuayaba? I recall that those funds, those royal beggars, put themselves together and were asking for over 400 or 500 million to buy cows and all not to curse the entire land and to curse all the self-defense volunteers. Or the curse was only on Ayaba. So when this happened, oh, this other one, this other Ngaput, that's Ngaput, the charlatan, called Fondu, jumps very quickly and calls the newspaper guys and says, Massa, put me on the cover page, oh, flings who 50,000, who 100,000, please put me there because I need to get some money from, from the Yaoundé regime that gets so lost and confused and they can fall to anything. I'm sure by now Atanga Ponji is already sending a mail to the Minister of Finance saying, please hurriedly send the sum of 200 million so that these ones can curse many more of those leaders. They need to curse many of them because when they curse them, it works. They arrest them. You think that it just ended there? More. That's it. I have chose 4 linked to collective curse from Northwest Funds. And they get the picture of Wolf on Jewelry. Happy Independence Day, folks. Like I said, it's going to be talk of independence and it's going to be a lot of laughter. And trust me, this show is not going to be long just because I wanted us to have this little fun to at least be together and celebrate together. This is our Independence Day, despite the fact that we are still, struggling, still facing challenges to take back our territory, still facing a lot of torture and killing from the talks from La République du Cameroon. We must at least on our Independence Day make merry. Have some little fun, share some laughter, and most especially mock at our enemies, at those who think that they can keep us, that they can cage us, and that they can keep us in subjugation for life. Because let them know, it will not work. It will not work anywhere, and it will not work on us. This is a basic truth, and this is something that they need to process as fast as possible because more trouble is on the way for La République du Cameroon. More trouble is on the way. The determination of our people is unparalleled. The level of focus among the people of Ambazonia and making sure we keep La République du Cameroon out of our territory is unparalleled. Trust me. And one interesting thing to happen. The Guardian Post picked October 1 to publish an article evaluating their so-called Grand National Dialogue. It says evaluating their Grand National Dialogue, how many years on? It says 5 years on. What has that dialogue achieved? I guess we will try to go through this stuff with this gentleman, the Guardian Post. Let's see what he says there, because he's pointing out a couple of things that can generate some good laughter. So I have the habit of laughing when folks, fire themselves and make the fools of themselves that we want them to be. So the Guardian Post makes a quick evaluation of their so-called Grand National Dialogue 5 years after it was put in place, and comes up with an extremely checkered balance sheet. He could barely, as you are seeing on my screen there, he could barely find something that he will hang on to say that there is some progress that has been made. And because he's not able to see any progress, he went on to cite whatever he could cite. That's why you find him there talking about regional assemblies addressing unique local development needs in Northwest, Southwest, really. I don't know whatever those assemblies are giving to anybody because people in in those localities don't even feel them, don't even know them, don't even hear about them. They only hear that some people have positions and call themselves honorables or whatever, that they are regional councillors. No one even knows their mode of election or mode of operation. And then it says public independent conciliators ensuring transparency in local governance. Really, what local governance are they carrying out? I think what they needed this independent conciliators or whatever public independent conciliators are needed in La République du Cameroon. You just saw the other day, yesterday, in my broadcast of yesterday, how I was showing a primary school in the far north there, that collapsed over on the children. First of all, constructed with millet stems. And also, I read out here a letter by Kavai Yege Jibril asking the Minister of Finance to assign him 450 million francs to carry out unidentified projects in Tokombere. That's perhaps where they need them. There it says use of English and French in public-private administration strengthened. Really? The evidence on the ground says it does not exist, and we don't even need it because I'm just reading these things here just for the sake of passing over. We never asked for this rubbish. We don't need them, and so they even put in place for themselves, but it's not serving them. It says presidential reconstruction plan, reviving communities in NW and SW. I don't know. It says over 4,000 fighters drop arms. Really? Can you show me where those 4,000 fighters who dropped arms are? I really don't know. Perhaps 4,000 out of over 40,000. Well, let's see. 7,000 released from detention facilities. So, okay, many citizens of La République du Cameroon. And then he now goes on to say, notwithstanding Monday ghost towns, lockdowns, school boycott campaigns, and several others persist. You see, when you write an article, because this is something that we're accustomed to, usually it was a point of laughter when they say, when we're on Cameroon Calling, still at here TV, you present an article, you're narrating beautiful things, I'm going and they're excited. Then when they hear you say, however, they say all of those nice things that you're hearing, they are finished. So when he says notwithstanding, the things he points out are the things that show exactly that all of those so-called achievements he has mentioned were just like water being thrown on the duck's back. Because absolutely, the people of Ambazonia are not interested in all of those, how do you call them even? Call them anything you want, in all of those inanities. We have asked for one thing simply: pull out of our territory. We don't want you on our territory. Let's operate as good neighbors. I don't know if La République du Cameroon does not have ears. And also, on this Independence Day, Independence. Okay, let us go over to Switzerland and have a sound laugh as a 92-year-old diaper-wearing Paul Biya faces vicissitudes of his own. Watch and enjoy.
J'ai dit non, je dérange tout le monde. D'ailleurs, c'est pour ça que je suis là. Je vous ai demandé les excuses d'abord. C'est pour ça que je suis là. Oui, vous ne pouvez pas loger avec un assassin.
Écoutez, j'ai la police qui arrive.
Mais j'ai dit que c'est un assassin.
Donc voilà,
je sais, il verse beaucoup d'argent ici. Il verse beaucoup d'argent ici. Je sais. Mais, vous voulez quoi?
C'est engueulé.
Oui, mais...
Moi, je vous entends, je suis là.
Oui.
Et ben alors, crie
Mais je
pas.
m'ajoute à lui.
Là, toi, tu me filmes pas.
Je m'ajoute à lui.
And just so you know, he is calling Paul Biya that this is an assassin. This is a murderer. This is a genocidaire. Spraying money here in Switzerland, claiming to be treating himself when he has brought misery, pain, suffering, poverty, stinking poverty on a people, and then he has the guts to get to Switzerland to treat himself when the people on whom he has unleashed pain and misery don't have the means to have any treatment, to get any treatment for themselves. And just so you know, this is happening today, the 1st of October. That's why I say, let's have fun, no? Let's have fun.
Je m'adresse à lui.
Faut pas lui dire ça.
Non.
Sur les
Il y a pardon, il faut partir d'ici.
Merci.
Ouais, ça a été
Bia,
117 si vous voulez.
tu dois partir d'ici.
J'ai appelé 117.
Je t'attends.
Faut les attendre. Alors,
Je
c'est
suis
la
là
République, là.
jusqu'au petit matin. Aujourd'hui, today not today. Tu es allé aux États-Unis, les gâteaux chassés.
C'est ça que c'est la
Tu as cru que tu vas aller te cacher ici.
Mais bon,
Il n'y a pas de cachette pour toi. Il n'y a pas de cachette pour toi. Oui, la diaspora combattant nous.
Oh, Paul Biya, oh, no hiding place for dictators. The man says, il n'y a pas de cachette ici pour toi. Hein? No hiding place here for you. Why they are smoking you out of there? We'll be smoking your people out of Ambazonia. The thing is sweeting me. Let's enjoy it again.
Nous avons décidé, il n'y aura plus jamais de cachette pour toi.
Une patrouille là.
Rentre au Cameroun.
Combien de
Tu as créé la misère et tu fuis de voir ta misère. Tu as créé la pauvreté, tu fuis de voir cette pauvreté. Oui, Bia, tu n'as pas construit les hôpitaux, mais te voici, tu viens te soigner à Genève. Ah oui, tu te soignes à Genève et tu laisses les Camerounais mourir et toi tu viens te soigner. Voilà les routes, il y a les boutons, il y a tout, mais dans ton pays, il n'y a rien. Et tu as détourné l'argent de ce pays. Moi je te dis, Bia, today not today. I say today not today. Today not today. Yes, I say today not today. Today not today.
I'm sure you can see Bia's people in the background coming there with valises and all whatnot. Those boxes and the people hiding there just taking images and all of those things. Oh my goodness. Vraiment de Dieu. Let's finish with him, folks. It's fun, like I said earlier.
Je t'attends ici. Bia, ne te dérange pas. Hein? Ne te dérange pas. C'est le face à face. C'est le face à face. J'ai dit c'est le face à face. Ce n'est pas ce qu'on parlait là, pas le bébé. J'ai dit aujourd'hui là, Bia, si tu veux encore bien dans ce pays, dans cette ville qu'on appelle Genève, Allah, Wallah, je te dis, je ne sais pas si tu vas t'en sortir encore. Ça, je te le dis, je suis sûr de moi et je sais de quoi je parle. Oui,
Vous restez là, s'il vous plaît.
vous dites qu'il faut partir au Cameroun. Attends, nous allons venir au Cameroun, mais pas la même vie. Pas la même vie. Et si désormais un seul Camerounais
Là
tombe,
aussi, s'il vous plaît. Vous pouvez
alors
être sur
bien,
le trottoir.
tu
Là,
sauras
vous-
de quoi nous sommes capables, désormais. J'ai dit un seul Camerounais tombe encore, parce que tu as tiré sur ce Camerounais-là. Alors là, ne te dérange pas,
vous allez
nous sommes
continuer.
préparés.
Ne vous fatiguez pas là. Vous
Je
faites-
ne me fatigue pas. S'il faut combattre pour ce pays, on ne peut pas se fatiguer. Madame, je ne me fatigue pas. Vous ne pouvez pas cautionner.
Moi, vous me fatiguez.
Non, mais non, moi, si vous fatiguez, moi je m'en fous. Hein. Je n'ai pas de problème avec vous. Je n'ai pas de problème avec vous. Je n'ai pas de problème avec vous.
Attendez.
Toi, tu as déclaré la guerre à Boko Haram.
Voilà. Hop,
Mais,
je vais vous chercher.
oui, mais vous habitez avec Boko Haram.
Ça me pose pas de problème.
Vous habitez avec Boko Haram. Vous habitez avec Boko Haram. Hein? Quelqu'un qui tue plus que Daesh, il tue plus que l'État islamique. Mais vous habitez avec lui. Vous habitez avec
Ils
lui.
veulent vous parler, à mon avis, ils ont quelque chose à vous dire.
J'ai dit non, je dérange tout le monde. D'ailleurs, c'est pour ça que je suis là. Je vous ai demandé les excuses d'abord. C'est pour ça que je suis là. Oui, vous ne pouvez pas loger avec un assassin.
Écoutez, chez la police, car...
Okay. That was such an interesting one. And I think at least I was just going to say let's end, but there's a sound bite that I've just received from one of our folks on ground zero there. She's saying the cities and the towns are completely dead, and the calm, the emptiness of the streets and everything appears to be haunting the colonial forces of La République du Cameroon. Let's just listen to her voice.
Like the ghost town, I'm not easy. No man, I say, please quiet. Since yesterday, even the yesterday also not be always so. The ghost town not easy.
Okay, that is the mark. Our people are determined. Our people are focused. Our people are resilient. And we have all decided it will not be business as usual. It will no longer be business as usual. We know what we want. We are determined to go for what we want. And so on the occasion of this celebration of our Independence Day, I want to do a quick revisit of our folks in Canada, who were in Canada out there just a few days ago, and pick some fun. As you can see, it was plenty of fun. out there in Canada a few days ago. Always a pleasure spending time with our people, seeing how our people are breaking the wastes, the ribs of La République du Cameroon across the world. Always a lot of fun enjoying how they are making life hard for them. Perhaps we passed through New York too, just for a few seconds before we go. You recall that our people were also in New York a few days ago, where they demonstrated in the streets of New York. And so, in fact, we're going to be having a lot of images coming in from across the world. And so once the images get here, we'll not hesitate to, share a lot of them. So we see the fun that our people created across the world. So it is on that beautiful note that we wrap up this conversation. We will never ever leave our journey halfway. We will go all the way until we kick La République du Cameroon out of our territory. We will never know relent. We will never stop until all those colonial administrators understand the need to vacate our territory. They are definitely going to know no peace. That's why I'm already throwing all my weight behind our people in Kumba, in Meme County, so they get this whole nonsense with Gerard Tundong sorted out. Until we meet back here on this platform, continue to enjoy and continue to celebrate this 2024 edition of the Southern Cameroons, aka Ambazonia Independence Day. Ciao, Eclair.